welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and we're here reviewing chapter 819 of One Piece, which as always does not disappoint. All I can say is, this is meant to be the year of Sanjay. This should be called the year of Oda being on fire with every single chapter he's got. Because I ain't seen any chapter this year at all. We're into March now where he hasn't done a good job with. So really this chapter should have been called Guess Who's Back. But without further ado, let's get into the review. So, before we get into point number one, the cover page, Future World, shows the reactions to that same kind of 500 belly kind of bounty reaction, I guess. And probably reactions to Frankie's bounty increase. It was interesting because we saw a few animals on there. We saw a gorilla, we saw a lion, a dragon, lizard type of creature, and what looked like a wolf. With the techniques of Gear 4 quite being prominent now in the anime, quite interesting that they've got King Kong, a gorilla, Leo Bazooka, a lion, a snake, covering a kind of a dragon type technique. But you know, you've got that wolf there. Is that going to be another hidden technique for the future? We'll have to wait and see. But in any case, let's move on. So part number one really is about the reaction to Odin, Momo's father, being on Gold Diraj's ship. They reconfirmed that he found out the secrets of the world. Even though that he found those secrets of the world, he will kill for them, and they're getting hunted for them, but they don't know, those secrets. So the only choice is to fight back now because they're backed into a corner with no way out. So that's basically point number one. A similar kind of point, cover page discussion, a little mini theory there, but an interesting point nonetheless. That's point number one. So point number two. Point number two is the official goal of the samurai is actually confirmed. So basically their goal is, and this was the last words of Odin, was to open the borders of Wano. Now this could be internally for the different clans, or it could be open the borders to the rest of the world, kind of to the government potentially, or just people in the world so they can come and travel to it. Now, what this basically is the goal to defeat Kaido and kill the Shogun in order to do so. You could kind of see Wano in a sense as another type of Dressrosa, kind of cloaked from the world because they're not really involved in the rest of the world. The people in the world don't know the hardships and the kind of the tyranny that runs in that country. So it is kind of like a different type of Dressrosa where it's not really involved with the world government and no one really interferes. So kind of Luffy going there would be a similar type of thing to Dressrosa. So the Mink Rebellion is part of the course to defeat the Shogun, but they kind of re-emphasized the point in the sense that, look, we want to take down Kaido, but we couldn't even take down one of his squads. And you get people from Luffy's crew saying, but they cheated, they use unhanded tactics and the poison bomb and stuff like that. He goes, yeah, that might be the case. We can't kind of come to terms with losing next time round. We won't take it so easy. We have our trump card. We will show them our strength. So what this exactly it means, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see who they're referencing to. It'll be interesting. Is there a hidden technique that they haven't really shown? We'll have to see in future episodes, but that's point number two. Point number three. A crazy part of the chapter. So Kinnaman initially asks Luffy to form an alliance and help them. Not even really form an alliance, just help them. And Luffy just flat out says no initially. Now, he has a point. People are going crazy. Nami and Usopp go mad about this. Nami's thinking about money, of course, and Usopp's excited at the prospect of having backup. The Minks especially, as well as the samurai. So, I guess the idea and the point really with this, though, is he kind of talks down and shouts at Momo, because Momo is meant to be the leader. He's a shogun, he's Odin's son, and he's really, all he's doing is crying and stuff like that. So he's treating him like an adult, which is admirable and respectable for Luffy, although everyone else is treating him like a kid. The point is made by Brook that people of that age aren't really in charge of anything. It's the adults that deal with everything, which is why he is acting like a child. But because he treats him like an adult, it does give Momo the kind of a bit of a surge to kind of step up and say how he really feels about the whole situation. He basically says Kaido was his family's enemy, he killed his parents, he would like to defeat Kaido. He goes, if he was big enough, he wished he was big enough and strong enough to protect his family, to defeat Kaido, to protect his guards, which is basically Kinnaman, Kanjuro and Raizo. And then he asked Luffy himself, will you be in a will you help? And he goes, that's more like it. Let's form an alliance. And he goes, we don't need to do any of this bowing and nodding stuff because he's not all into the customs. He goes, shake our hands. But Momo's like hugging his hand. He goes, no, shake my hand. The funny thing is, he goes, we don't do stuff like that. We're friends. That's what an alliance is meant to be. You get low in the background, goes, you haven't asked me. What you know about? That's nothing to do with an alliance. He's giving his opinions, but obviously Luffy doesn't care about anyone else's opinions on alliances. It's his own. This is actually quite a good setup, not just necessarily for the whole Kaido Big Mom thing, but actually a future prospect for the final war. So it's an interesting point that they've kind of made it an alliance and not just a one-off thing. An alliance is a key word because an alliance is going to be much like the whole Straw Hat Grand Fleet. This is going to be a setup for that effectively. So that's point number 3. So point number 4, he goes, before we can do that, we need to go get Sanjay, and he needs to go with Peckhams to Big Mom, and they're like, Big Mom? Some people aren't aware, basically, they're not in the loop, basically. And he goes, oh, you're going to go there, try to fight a Yonko, are you crazy? You think you're going to survive? He goes, no, I'm not there to fight, I'm just there to get him. He goes, don't worry, Sanjay is strong, and he's worth 1,000 people. What was funny at that time was always like, yeah, and I'm worth 2,000 people, and he's like, tapping him on the head. He goes, yeah, you're big and strong, don't worry about it. That was like a little funny scene, because they're still quite competitive. Now, what I found interesting was, again, he goes, stay out of trouble, because he goes to Lawyer, I want you to protect him and help him, but stay out of trouble and try not get into a fight with Kaido till I'm back. And then it sets up point number 5, which is probably the craziest ending that we've seen in a while, other than the revelation. Guess who's back? Back again. Yes, Jack is back. So we basically see Jack with his crew, the fleet, heading towards Zo, them having a discussion about the Minks and the half dead, and we'll just have to finish him off. But Jack's so impatient, he does not really care. He basically says, I'll just take down Zanesha. He's basically going to take down the elephant. Forget the people on top of it, he's going to take down the elephant. Now, does this set up the Straw Hats versus Jack's crew? Or does this set up Zoro versus Jack and the remainder of the Straw Hat Pirates and the Heart Pirates? Now, the reason why I've put across two questions rather than just the one is because this is not made apparent as to when it happens. So if there's a situation, it's a meanwhile where while Luffy's making this speech, this is happening, Luffy's going to be involved. If this is at the point where Luffy has left, and this happens just after, but because of timelines and stuff like that, we basically find that Luffy is gone, it's more than likely going to be Zoro versus Jack, and the rest of them versus the rest of them. Like that lady, for example, like probably Nami or Robin's going to go after that, and a few of the gifters, and Sheep's Head and people like that. It's funny as well, at the same time, Sheep's Head was lying about the whole, we couldn't find Raizo situation, but realistically they got the ass kicked by Sanji and Brook. So an an amazing end to the chapter, the return of Jack, the man who got the £1 billion berry, or 1 billion berry bounty. Now, is this something that people have said he's got, or is this an official bounty? We don't really know. I believe it is with the whole Oda kind of speech around him, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's see what he's capable of. Now, the trump card is interesting. Were they making reference to Luffy, or was it a case that they're going to both fight all out from the beginning? We'll have to wait and see. I cannot wait for the next chapter. Do not take a week off. You are not allowed to take a week off next week. I have to see this. But that's all for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the chapter. I really enjoyed the chapter. 10 out of 10 chapter for me. 9 out of 10 really, but the ending made it a 10 for me. The epic speech from Luffy, really turning things around. He's really motivating people and inspiring people in his way, even though other people don't see it. Commented by the Dukes. I enjoyed the chapter. I hope you did. If you liked what I did in the chapter, this chapter review, give me a thumbs up. Leave it in the comment section below. If you did not like what I did today, or something I can work on, give me a thumbs down. Let me know in the comment section below of how to improve. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I will leave in the link in the description below for those lazy folks. You know who I'm talking about. But please subscribe, and thank you for sharing your support. See ya. Peace.